Hi, welcome back. My name is Danny DeVore, and yeah, today's gonna be a little bit different. I've been doing some little vlogs lately, but today is just, I don't know, I guess my thoughts and to see what other people think about this. Before we get too into it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. Okay, so about 3 weeks ago, I applied for a different job. I have been thinking that I wanted to go into psychiatric, like psych nursing. I feel very strongly and passionate about that because I wanted to work with veterans. I, when I came off of active duty, I ended up having to go to see a psychiatrist, just having so much structure and so much, like you really didn't have to think much. I know this kind of sounds counterproductive, but somebody told you when to get up, what time to be here, what you had to wear. It took a lot of the thinking out of it. So when you go to the real world, it's like all of this is, you're just free to do whatever. And so I just wasn't used to that, and I struggled without having that intense structure. So I applied for this job. Same day, they were like, nah. I was feeling so burnt out at my job now. I was like, you know what, this just sucks. I'm so tired. I just feel like, we get the brunt of the short end of the stick a lot of times. We're short staffed, blah, 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 blah. And I understand that people are gonna be like, well, that's a part of nursing. And I strongly believe that it should not be like that. I genuinely think that there should be safe staffing ratios. I know you can't control certain things like people calling out, people not feeling well, or things happening, or people just not being able to show up to work. I know that you can't control that, but at the same time, I don't think that you should burn people out just to get your bottom line to look better. And I completely understand profit and losses. That's what I did when I was an operations manager. I understand profit and losses. I understand labor. I understand all of that. However, you should not be running people into the ground. And I love my managers, all that other stuff. Anyway, this is getting too crazy. But anyway, so that's where I was. I was like, I'm burnt out. I need something new. Let's see about this. That job, I would have had to go back on nights. So I was like, ugh, I don't really want to do that, but it's getting my foot into the door. So I go to work Saturday and getting report. I had worked 3 days. So I worked Friday and I had the same group Saturday. Hold up. Friday I discharged some people, so new people were coming into the rooms kind of like at shift change. So Saturday morning when I get to work, I get the same group back. I'm like, okay, I get this patient, and the outgoing nurse is like, this patient is a little difficult, very opinionated, blah, 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 which I'm like, I don't care. I don't. So go in there, meet the patients, because I always go at shift change to just make sure my people are breathing. 99% of our patients are on telly, but still just my own warm and fuzzy of saying, I went and laid eyes on you. So I go in there, meet the patient. The patient is going off already. I'm like, all right, I apologize, whatever. That patient and I bonded over those 12 hours. We talked about everything. And I was so honored that this patient was sharing stuff with me that I don't know if I would just tell a stranger, things that happened to this patient, like growing up, everything. And I just felt so comforted. I felt so truly honored that this person decided to share very intimate parts of their life with me. So we go on, and as the day is going on, I was explaining, I said, they said, oh, how's your day going? I said, oh, it's okay. It's almost done, but it's okay. And they said, well, why you just say okay? I said, nursing is very interesting. One patient you have who is completely fine, they're discharging. Another patient has found out the worst news of their life. And another patient is yelling at you because you didn't get a Sprite fast enough. And so just that roller coaster of emotions it can be very, very intense. So I had a patient who was on hospice, who was DNR comfort, which basically means you are not going to resuscitate that person. You're not going to do compressions. You are just going to let them go peacefully. So I started talking to the patient. I'm like, oh, this, that, and the third. And the patient's like, wait, you have somebody who is actively like passing? And I was like, yeah, their wish is to go home and all that other stuff. And a lot of people feel like that. Like, I want to go home. I want to go in my bed. I want to, I feel like if you can choose when you go, like, yeah, why not? We're going to do everything that we possibly can to make that happen. Obviously, we're just humans and we don't have the timer to say like, oh, this is your last minute. So the patient was like, grab my boots. I said, you can't be going into these people's rooms. And the patient said, no, I know, I understand, but I want you to do something for me. Can you do me a favor? And I said, well, what is it? It depends. Do you know this patient went into their wallet, pulled out everything that they had out of their wallet cash-wise and said, please go give this to that family. And when I tell y'all, that warmed my little heart. That warmed my little heart. It just made me feel, I know that people are good, right? I have this conversation with people often. I tend to think that people are good, people are genuine. I know that there's bad people everywhere, people who are not genuine, but for the most part, I truly believe in my veins that people are good. And that just reconfirmed it for me. I was like, okay. Mind you, this was over $150 that this person handed me in cash and said, please go give it to them. So I honestly felt like I wanted to cry. I was like, this is exactly what I needed when I feel like we are just pulled every which way and everything like that. I just needed to see this. Thank you. So I go in the room with my other patient and we have been together, for 2 days now. And I said, somebody told me to give you this. And the family's in there and they're like, what is this? I was giving it to the patient's spouse because the patient was asleep. So somebody told me to give you this. And the spouse said, is this from you? Are you giving me this? And I said, no, I promise you it is not from me. It's from somebody else. Somebody just said to give this to you. And the spouse started to tear up. They said, if you want to do dinner, if you want to get something, because you've been here this entire time. And granted, we've given you guest trays, but if you've ever eaten at a hospital, the food is not that great. So yeah, the spouse said, can I go say thank you to that person? And in that moment, it was confirmed there was exactly where I needed to be. In the midst of everything that I am feeling, I am blessed and fortunate enough to be able to be there for people when they're scared, when they are fighting the toughest battle of their life. And I really do think that is an honor, right? I really genuinely feel that way. And I'm just a human. I'm just a person. So I have my days when I'm like, this is entirely too much. They are expecting too much from us. But that just really confirmed and solidified. This is exactly where I need to be. And to me, I think that is absolutely insane. So this is why I think it's insane. I did not tell anybody I was burnt out. I told one person I was applying for a different job. I was like, maybe just a different change of pace. But God literally knew what I needed and what I had to hear for me to be okay. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me. Because after that, I was like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be right here. There is no other place that I really, truly would want to be at this time. But here with these people. So, fast forward the next day. Wait, let me back up. So they ended up praying for each other. The patient who had given the money said, do you mind if I pray for you? And the other patient's family said, we don't mind. And they prayed together. These people who have never met each other before prayed together. Hospice was supposed to go home, and I walked in the door and they were like, we don't feel comfortable going home. I'm so stressed. And I was like, nope, let me do the heavy lifting. You just stay in here. You love on your family member. You let me do everything else. I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to fret, because this family was so concerned about, oh, I don't want somebody to waste their time coming to our house and we don't go. Oh, I don't want to take away from, another family that needs to transport their family. In the midst of them going through a terrible time for their family, they were still concerned about others. And I don't know, y'all. I was just so touched. I feel like it's been 3 weeks and I'm still just in awe. In awe. So that is all a roundabout way of me just saying, sometimes when you feel like your back is against the wall, or you feel like, I cannot do this another day. I cannot stand to be here another day. God is going to provide you everything that you need to get through it. And I don't mean this to be churchy. I don't mean this to be preachy. And I'm not a super overly religious person, but that is truly, truly how I feel. I have seen it countless times. I always think about Tamala Mann's song, God Provides. It's like, it might not even always be monetary. It might be emotional. It might be spiritual. It might be, just so many things. And just having that experience and just being tapped into that, my goodness, it was wonderful. I'm just so grateful. I just really, really am grateful, because I don't know, I'm just grateful. Just really, really am. I truly wholeheartedly believe that everything that I need is always going to be provided for me. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that there won't be times where I feel like it won't, but I know, because I've seen it. It's happened so many times for me. So thank y'all. I just wanted to share that with y'all. It was like burning me up. And I just wanted to share that. I appreciate y'all for watching or listening, or whatever the case may be. And I will see y'all next time. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a great summer and a safe summer. Happy Memorial Day. All of that. So, yeah. Thank y'all so much. Bye.